Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. This is Monica, the Kismet Chemist, and today we're going to be diving down deep into our root chakras. The root chakra is located at the base of the spine, and it is the power source for what you call Kundalini energy. Our root chakra governs our sense of security and safety in the world. It determines if it is in balance or if it is out of balance, whether that is too open or too closed, how we view the world and how we view ourselves within the world. If it's too open, we can be far too trusting and we can speak too much about the things that are going on in our lives. And if it is too closed off, we can veer in the exact opposite direction and actually get a little bit paranoid and a little bit concerned and worried about anything and everything that is going on, as well as our place in the world, our worth in the world, and our place within our own lives. So we're going to dive into each of these piles, find out what it is that your root chakra wants you to know, and do some inner work, some healing, and get some guidance from spirit. So I'm going to give you some time to look over each of the piles, select intuitively which stone or pile speaks to you the clearest, and then from there we will go ahead and find out what it is that your root chakra is asking you to take a look at, where your healing needs to be, and how to bring it back into balance. Hello, pile 1. So if you chose the first stone, the aragonite here, and this is a brown aragonite stone, these are your initial cards. And aragonite is all about compassion, getting rooted, getting centered, but really getting in touch with the heartbeat and essence of the great goddess Gaia. And the wild elemental card that you got is number 4, the worm. And I absolutely love this card. It matches so beautifully with the aragonite. But the worm card, for me, if you think about an earthworm, an earthworm is a regenerative creature. It really gets in and it digs deep into the soil and it nurtures anything and everything. It creates its very own essence of fertilizer or compost, and it really helps grow the vegetation out in the world, and it does this by getting grounded. So the worm itself, the bigger meaning here that I am picking up for your pile is it's about the perspective of loss and how we view our own personal safety and security in the world. So with an earthworm, like I said, earthworms are regenerative. They're just like, in the body, the liver. You can actually cut off or lose a piece of your liver and it will regenerate itself, just like the earthworm. An earthworm can be cut and it will grow back. It will turn and grow that piece back. So The questions here that you need to be asking yourself is, where am I going and why? And what are my most important values? How are they reflected in my life and in my daily decisions? So when we ask ourselves what our values are, how they're reflected, and where we're going from here, why you want to go in that direction, a lot of the times when we choose a direction in life or we choose to make a change in life, we are choosing to transition. And when we do a transition, sometimes we lose things, whether that be friendships, whether that be employment, whether that be a home, whether that just be an old version of ourselves or a mindset that we used to hold on to really tightly. Whatever it is, we end up losing a part of ourselves. And when we lose that part of ourselves, something has to come and grow into that space. And this is why in the spiritual community, we talk about sacrifice. It's about removing something from the energy field in order to open that field up to welcome in new energy. And that to me is really what your root chakra is saying. It's saying it's time to clear it out. It's time to declutter it. It's time to get yourself back grounded and back earthed. It's time to get back in touch with who you are and where it is that you want to go. Finding your own values and how those values actually appear in your outside world so that you can see where things align to your values and where things don't. The places where things don't, that's where you say, am I meaning to take this with me, or does it need to go? And sometimes that can be a hard thing to do. Those can be very difficult choices to make. But Spirit's coming in and saying, even with this Worm card, it's the number 4, and number 4 is all about that stability, that security, that Emperor energy, that firm knowing of who you are and being grounded into your body and into this world. And Spirit is saying, no matter what it feels like you are losing, the only thing that you are really losing is things that don't matter to you anymore, things that don't help you on your journey, things that don't reflect the true nature of who you are. And in that way, now it's time to transition into the new. Now it's time to let yourself heal and get yourself grounded and let the earth and the heartbeat of the essence of this place, this beautiful land that we live, nurture you, hold you, just like a mother holds her infant in the womb. So let's go ahead and get into some more of your cards. I'm just going to shift these right over here for you guys so you can still see them. And we're going to pull out your tarot cards and get a little bit more. There we go. Okay, Spirit, can we get messages from the root chakra of pile 1? Three of Wands. Messages from the root chakra of pile 1, Spirit. Oops. Messages from the root chakra of pile 1. The 3 of Swords, the 2 of Cups, and then we've got the 9 of Discs. I'm just going to shift these over a little bit for you guys. Okay, and on the back of the deck, we have the Fool card. All right, that is amazing. I'm going to go ahead and set this right over here. Okay. So, what I'm seeing here is your root chakra is really asking you to take a look at where it is that you want to go. It's about peering into the actual impression of where you want to go. What is it that you want? What do you want in your life? And I can see here that this is what you want, and this is what's blocking you. So what you really want is that Two of Cups and that Nine of Discs. You want to be in an interdependent relationship, but you want to feel safe and secure. And you're looking towards the future, and there is this, I don't consider it a blockage so much, as it's like this fear that just keeps seeping in and crippling you. This fear that if you are to fully embrace your heart, if you are to fully embrace the truth of what you want in life, that what you will experience is hardship and heartache. But that is not the case. This is where you're headed. This is what your root chakra really wants you to know, that you can have that harmony, that independence, that unique expression of who you are, as well as that interdependence with another person, that union and harmony with another person, but also within yourself. This is about allowing yourself to see beyond the illusions of the pains of the past and realize that none of that matters anymore. Because you have the ability to balance these two aspects within yourself, but also to find that balance outside in your life and see that you genuinely are this Nine of Discs, this Nine of Pentacles, this beautiful, independent, amazing, strong person who owns their worth. And it is time for you to take a new journey. This Fool card is what you don't see. You're being called to this new journey. And the reason why you feel so unsafe or unsecure or ungrounded is because whenever you take a new journey, you have to determine what your truest values are and where they fall within your life, and how to bring those into balance and still stand in your power, how to be in communion or in union with another person or with spirit or within yourself, and stand firm in who you are and let that person shine outward so that all of your daily life and decisions are reflected back to you. So this is the Goddess Power Oracle. So let's see what the goddesses have to say. What goddesses are helping pile one's root chakra? All right. So we have here the card number 5, Athena, with knowledge, and the card 47, Skuld, and the future. Do we have one more goddess? What I'm seeing here is there is a prevalence of the throat chakra with your root chakras. So if you see here, we've got the reds. That's all of your root chakra, but all of the blues that are really flowing in here is your throat chakra. All right, we have two more. We have card number 17, the Great Goddess and Sacred Unity. That's exactly what we were talking about. And card number 30, Lilith with Independence. See, this is that 9 of Discs energy. And then on the back, we have Lizzie with Revelation in the card number 29. That reduces to an 11. We have the 47, which also reduces to an 11. And then we have 3, 3, 3, 5s, 8s. Yeah, it's 3s and 1s. 1s and 3s, those are quite prevalent for your pile. But what I'm seeing here really is that what's blocking you from, it's not a blockage, it's not a blockage, it's what's slowing you down. Let's put it that way. I'm going to go ahead and move these up here so you guys can see them a little better. But what's really slowing you down from moving into where you want to be, from feeling that firm, grounded, rooted, secure nature within your root chakra is this knowledge that within the future, there's all this promise. But you've had that happen before. And when that happened before, you feel like you took a wrong turn. You went the wrong direction. You saw the wrong thing. Anything. I'm just hearing, I was so wrong. I was so wrong. But the thing is, you weren't wrong. There was nothing wrong in what you did, in the decisions that you made, in any of it. That's the revelation that's trying to come in for you, that nothing that you did was ever wrong. Even if it hurt, it was never wrong. If you think about the story of Lilith, Lilith was seen as inherently wrong. But was she truly wrong? No. No, she really wasn't. She was independent. She was strong and stable and secure in who she was. That doesn't make her wrong. No experience that we go through is wrong. It is a learning experience. It teaches us, it helps us grow. We gain deeper wisdom and deeper knowledge. And Athena is all about that deeper wisdom and knowledge. And using that to make a change so that you can move forward into the future. And when you move forward into the future, you're moving forward in that unity. But in an independent, that 9 of discs, Lilith, independence of who you are, of your truest self and your truest worth. It is okay to let yourself trust again. You were never wrong for trusting someone to begin with. This is the wild offerings deck. I'm going to go ahead and get just a little bit in closing. Spirit, can we get wild offering for pile 1, Spirit? Wild offering for pile 1. It's 2 minutes. Well, we still... That's too many, but wild offering for pile 1. Okay. And on the back of the deck it says, being enough. The innermost heart says, you are enough. Nowhere to go, nothing to get, nothing to change, no need to grow. No need to grow more deserving. You, yes, you are love. Apologize for that. And then we have creative blocks. See, and I told you guys, I didn't want to call it a block. Did not want to call it a block because it doesn't feel like a block so much as it is a mindset. If you are an artist of any kind, you can offer all work to the divine, making it God's alone. I offer this for the highest good to benefit the planet. Release me from any blocks and restrictions. May this serve all who need. And then we have companionship. When you fully bless and embrace your aloneness, you're ready for the ones who are meant to be with you. May I welcome this solitude, knowing it will open the way for all healthy relationships. And then empowerment. When you ask the divine to take over, you get pulled into your own authentic power. It's a force of inner love that wants your wholeness and magnificence. Unfold my true and radiant self, dear Lord. Okay, so again, this is what I'm seeing. I am seeing that there is this desire to be your own independent person, but you also want companionship. And the pains of the past are keeping your mind in the state that you are blocked and restricted. But there is no such thing as blocks and restrictions when you live from the heart. That is my truth. And like I said, nothing you have done has been a mistake. It doesn't mean that you aren't worthy. It doesn't mean that you aren't enough. Allow yourself to really determine where it is that you want to go, what it is that's pulling you there, and be more compassionate with yourself. Get grounded, whether that be through a grounding meditation, whether if you are in a place in the world in which you can go and get your feet into the ground, into the bare ground or grass, or just get yourself out into Mother Nature and really get back in touch. Go and hug a tree. I know that sounds ridiculous, but seriously, go hug a tree. For me, I've got these beautiful bamboo, and they really help keep me grounded. They help keep me in touch with Mother Earth and feeling as though I am surrounded by the loving energy of the great goddess Gaia. And through that, it helps me to embrace my creative passions here with you. Okay, pile one. Ask yourself the questions about what your values are, what it is that you want to create, and know that no matter what happened in your past, no matter how many times you were hurt or how many pains you had, you are not broken. You are enough and you are worthy. And there is companionship and empowerment and all of your greatest wishes and dreams of unity and being more than enough for the rest of the world for your new beginning. All you have to do is ask yourself if you're ready to go and let yourself be regenerated. If this resonated, please like the video, share it with a friend or with family, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that little notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a beautiful day or evening whenever you watch this. I love you guys. Bye. Hello, pile twos. So if you chose the second stone, you chose the Septarian crystal. And what I love the most about Septarian crystals is each one is unique in and of itself. And it's an amalgam of many different crystals in one. But each of the crystals or each of the patterns, layouts are separated by boundaries. And that is really what the Septarian crystal is. It's about learning your boundaries in your personal and your public, or your personal and your professional life. But it also helps harmonize your emotions and your intellect with a higher perspective. So the empowering questions to ask yourself are, how have I become me? What am I like? And what if everything is as it should be? How would that make me feel? And the wild elemental animal that you chose is the owl. And it's card number 38, which reduces to an 11, which is a master number. And it was just 111 on my clock. So it would seem as though you guys have gone through a transition or are about to embark on a new journey. And really what this is asking you is to find yourself in the midst of everything. And this, what if everything is as it should be? How would that make me feel? Is really about accepting things as they are. Accepting what is in a kind of radical acceptance kind of thing. An owl is all about being able to see in the dark. And owls can turn their heads in 360 degrees, and so they can see a much higher perspective. They can see things from all angles. So this is about looking at your life and seeing all the different perspectives and aspects of your life and where you fit in your own life. Are you being true to yourself? Are you being true to who you are? And who are you? How have you become this person that you are? What parts of you are no longer accurately being reflected outward? And how many times have you said, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, as though you need to make these changes? But what if everything in your life is exactly how it's meant to be, exactly in this moment? How would that make you feel? And if it does not feel good, then what parts of it don't feel good? Now it's time to take a broader perspective and take a look a little bit deeper to see what it is that doesn't feel right and make changes from there. So let's go ahead and move these off to the side here for you. And keep these up so that you can still read them. And we're going to pull your tarot cards out to get a little bit deeper messages. So, Spirit, can we get messages for pile 2 and their root chakra? Pile 2, Spirit. Whoa, that is quite a lot. Okay, so we have the 9 of Swords and the Judgment. I am loving this already. Spirit. You know, these came out before and they just seem to want to come out. So we have the 5 of Wands, the 5 of Swords, and then at the very end we have the 4 of Wands. I absolutely love that. What an amazing finish. And on the back of the deck we have the 7 of Cups. We're going to set that right up here. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is you guys have been really in your head. You've been making really negative judgment calls, but not about anything in life. It's been about you. Very, very harshly fighting and battling with your own mentality, with the way that you see yourself and the way that you think about yourself and the things that you have done. And what Spirit is really saying is it's time to take a higher perspective. It's time to see yourself in the really true, accurate light of just who you are and everything you have to offer. The 7 of Cups, she has all these cups, but the cups are coming from her heart. It's about choosing from the heart, but it's about seeing that you have all of these options. And even though it feels as though you're fighting against the grain, if you look at the 7 of Cups, what you're not seeing is that the waves have literally parted so you can cross. It's like the Red Sea and Moses. It's literally parting for you. And the 4 of Wands with the owl, the 4 of Wands is seen as the 11-11 card. And you've got 11 here. Again, this is firmly saying it's time to make judgment calls that accurately reflect who you are and who you have become, what it is that is right for your life. And most of this is about getting back in touch with your heart, getting out of your mind, pulling yourself out of your mind and back in touch with your heart. Because when you get in touch with your heart and you give yourself that unconditional love and really bring your emotions back into balance, in balance with your intellect and your mind, you're going to see that everything that you've been doing has basically been mental training. It has felt like mental anguish, but it's been about mental training, and it's time to set those thoughts free, those perceptions free, so that you can step into your power and step into this harmonious happiness and understand that any and every choice that you make, when you make it from the heart, is 100% the right choice for you. It is 100% what you are being called to do. You have all these options from your heart. You have all these choices from your heart, and these beautiful inspirational ideas that are all in your heart. And all you have to do is release that judgment on yourself that says, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, I messed up in the past, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Let all of that go. Let it go and see from a higher perspective that what you were doing was you were learning, you were training, you were growing, you were adapting. You were finding your joy and your happiness, and you were shifting into your own personal power that comes from a place of unconditional love and guidance and support from the universe and from spirit. Whew, that was very powerful. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Goddess Power Oracle for this pile. And we have goddesses jumping straight out. We've got Lakshmi, 28 with fortune. Again, that reduces to a 10 and to a 1. Number 40, Nyx and secrets. Another 4. And then we've got number 12, Ellen of the Ways with patterns. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Okay, and on the back of the deck, I'm going to butcher this, but we have Yihi, I don't know. I'm probably saying it wrong, but we have the Sun and 51. And this Sun card, if you look at the colors, it looks so much like this 4 of Wands. This celebratory energy of standing in your power and shining that outwards. But what I'm seeing here is Lakshmi saying that the truest nature of your fortune lies in the secrets of your heart. The patterns of thinking that you have been working on changing, that you've been watching, that you have been trying to adapt and adjust to, you now can see those patterns and you can rise above them. And because you can rise above them, you actually have great wisdom. You have deeper secrets, universal secrets and universal truths that are here for you to bring into the world, that are here for you to find the truest expression of them out into the world and let that shine forth. All these things that you've been holding on to are just ready to come out. And with Nyx, I can see all of the stars around her head. And it's like, look to the stars, the sky, the night sky. Perhaps try stargazing. There is a full moon and it actually hits on the 16th. I'm filming this on the 15th, so it actually hits tomorrow. But there are secrets that are being illuminated from within that help you see the patterns that have been holding you back from shining forth, from shining your truest self. These patterns that have been keeping you in a judgmental state are now being asked to be broken so that you can become who you are meant to be. So let's take a look here. This is the Wild Offering. Spirit, can we get the Wild Offering for pile 2? Okay. All right. We have the card Solitude. Once you embrace the inner divine in your own sacred solitude, the right people arrive at the right time, exactly on schedule, without forcing or chasing. Ambition. May I offer all my deepest longings to love itself and invite a divine plan beyond the mind's imagining. Please use me for the highest good. Self-sufficiency. The ultimate self-sufficiency is relying on God. It doesn't mean hiding in a cave and saying, I don't need people. Instead, it's saying, God is my source and I am willing to receive all the help, love, and support that wants to come. I apologize if you guys can hear the dogs barking. My kids are just getting home from school. And then we have money. All my finances are now in divine order. Love itself knows my needs and is the source for all. I needn't cling to gain or fear loss. Every need will be met through offering all to the divine. And then on the back of the deck, we have self-acceptance. Nothing is more exhausting than endlessly working on yourself. When you offer your whole being fully to love, self-acceptance arises spontaneously. May I rest in our oneness, dear divine. Okay, so, I was just talking to a friend, and we both were talking about our perception on money and finances, but also on allowing things to drop, allowing things to fall, allowing ourselves to walk away from creative projects and creative endeavors. And back in the end of November, beginning of December, I had gone through a lot of changes and trials and tribulations in my friendships. I had started seeing through the secrets of who people actually were and what it was that the patterns that were keeping me in a place of a negative self-belief, because I was giving my power away to other people, because I was afraid of this and that and everything else. And so it really impacted my root chakra. It made me feel very ungrounded and very unsafe in the world. And I had a very hard time accepting who I was, but also accepting the fact that there are just some people that aren't right for me. And it took me quite literally walking away from so many of my projects and going into a state of solitude. I stopped posting on social media. I stopped working at any of my business projects or taking any kind of business meetings or anything of the sort, because I didn't know who I was and I didn't know who I was becoming. And I felt like I had to do everything all on my own. Everything felt like an uphill battle. And it wasn't until I really let everything fall apart and I was able to see that I was moving from a state of lack most of my life. Even if I wasn't really in a negative state of lack in reality, in my heart, in my soul, I believed I was. In my mind, I believed I was. And that was because of how I had grown up. And I had to bring all of it out and take a look at it all, to really view it, to really train my mind to see the reality of who I am and what I'm worth in the world outside of any other impact, outside of attaching myself to money or ambition. I had to accept myself for me and accept my gifts for myself. And that is such a huge and important thing. We can get so scared. We can be on that, they call it spiritual momentum. We can be on that momentum train where we've been doing this forever and we are getting here and we're getting there. And then we're asked to just stop, And it's so terrifying. It's so terrifying because we were just getting going and now you're asking us to stop, Spirit? Like, come on, what's the deal here? Like, come on, Spirit. I was really angry when Spirit was like, okay, it's time for you to stop. It's time for you to take inventory. It's time for you to break things down and see what is worth keeping and what isn't, what serves you and what doesn't, who are you and what is right for you. And to see my life as it actually was. Not as I wanted it to be, not as it used to be, but as it was in that exact moment, in any exact moment, to see the reality of how my life is. Not was, not will be, but is. And in doing so, it changed my entire outlook. I felt more grounded, but I also was able to connect to the higher realms without being completely out of my body. We all do this journey in a different way, but really getting grounded and finding ourselves and accepting ourselves, this radical self-acceptance is so huge. It literally can shift your entire perception of yourself and the world. Your root chakra wants you to take a look at the present moment. not at the future, not at the past, but the exact present moment, and see the reality, not the secrets, not the lies, not the patterns, but the 100% what is right here. Because when you see what is right here, then you see all the things that don't fit into what is right here. And then you were able to actually see the secrets and the patterns. But it takes right here, right now. What is, not what was, not what will be, but what is. I love you guys all. If this resonated, please like the video, share it with your family or your friends, and make sure that you subscribe to my channel and hit that little notification bell so that you don't miss another reading. And I will see you all next time. I love you all. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the third stone, you chose the red jasper stone. Red jasper stands for grounding, balance, and harmony, but it also is a stone of luck and vitality. It's a stone that helps bring in inspiration and creative empowerment through your own self-confidence. The empowering question cards that came up for this stone are, what is my life like when it is in balance? And what would I do if I had enough time? What do I do when I have time? And the wild elemental oracle animal that came up is the card number 23, which reduces to a 5, and the hummingbird. So we're going to actually start with a hummingbird. So a hummingbird is all about vitality. It really is. The hummingbird moves at such a rapid pace, and it flits around from place to place, and you never know where it's going to be or where it's going to show up. And it goes based off of the nectar of flowers. And that really is what this stone is all about. It's about going with the flow and the nectar of life. What brings you that inspiration, that creative empowerment? What brings you that balance and that harmony and that vitality of moving forward in your life? A lot of the times we think that we don't have enough time to do the things that we want to do, to live the life that we want to live. We think, well, I will get to it when, I will do that if, things like that. And really what this is saying and what Spirit is saying is, you have the power to do what you want to do exactly now. Now is always the best time. It is always the right time, because there is never going to be a true and genuine right time. It's like saying, I'm going to plan to have a child. I'm going to have a kid when whatever, like when everything is the right time. There's never a right time for these things. I could have waited for months to plan out this channel, to wait for the right time to make these videos, to come forward with these messages. But every time was and is the right time, because the right time is always right now. When you stop sacrificing your hopes and your dreams, somehow you always find the time that you're meant to. And that really does help bring your life into balance. And when you bring your life into balance and you do the things that bring you joy, it helps really solidify that root chakra. Now, a hummingbird, in reference to the root chakra, you can see that it almost seems as though, in this pile especially, you may have an issue with getting grounded, with staying in one place or sticking with one thing. And it's because you feel like you don't have enough time, and so you're trying to rush through things. But that's not necessary. Right now is the time to ask yourself, what is it that you feel like you don't have enough time to do? What is it that you do with the time that you have? And where can you find greater balance in what you give yourself to, as far as what time you spend doing this or that or the other thing? So let's go ahead and get into some of your other cards. We're just going to shift these cards over here so that you can still see them, but so that they are out of the way, so to speak. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get some tarot cards for you guys. Spirit, could I get a few cards for pile 3? A few cards for pile 3, Spirit. Okay. So we have here card number 6, the Lovers. 13 with the Death card. The Ace of Discs. And the 8 of Discs. And on the back of the deck, we have the Prince of Discs. So this is all about your creative projects here in the physical world. It's about bringing things into balance and harmony. The number one thing is once you bring in your inner world into this sense of balance and harmony, when you bring that all in together, that's when your outer world really changes. A transformation of self, a transformation in any aspect of life will always come from an internal transformation. And to me, this is really saying that now is the exact time to bring yourself back into balance. You say that you don't have enough time, but there's always time to work on yourself. But there's always time to really get yourself into harmony and into balance with your masculine and your feminine. And that does require work. So right now, what I'm seeing here is you are aiming for a change in your actual physical world. And it feels as though this change has been a very slow going change. But when that change occurs, when you're aiming for that change to occur, what happens is it's all about where you put your time and where you find your balance. So if you're balanced internally, then that internal balance goes through this death and rebirth cycle. And as you do that, you actually do a death and rebirth cycle of the things that are in your outside world. And that ushers in these seeds that are planted. And honestly, looking here, I'm seeing seeds that are planted and you shift directly into self-mastery and mastering your skills into whatever creative endeavor it is that you prior did not give the time to. So what creative endeavor is it that you haven't put forth the time or the effort or the energy into? Because that's really what this is saying. When you balance yourself out and you stop flitting from one thing to the next, but you embrace the vitality of the energy of the hummingbird and you find that nectar, that joy, that spark of creative, empowered inspiration in your life because it comes from within first, and you give your time to that, then you're going to be able to plant those seeds and jump directly into the seeds of mastery of that. And what had once seemed so slow really will speed up. And I'm seeing this bull here and I'm hearing Taurus season. And Taurus season happens at the end of April, beginning of May, I believe. If I'm not, end of April. And so it may be that you are a Taurus. It may be that there is a prominent Taurus in your life, but I keep hearing Taurus season, Taurus season. There's actually an eclipse in Taurus, in the sign of Taurus, at the end of March, which may be a significant time of transition and change for this pile. Or blessings. I heard blessings. I don't like giving time frames. I know Spirit doesn't often give time frames, but Aries season and Taurus season. Mostly Taurus season for this pile. Spirit, can I get some Goddess Power Oracle cards? Goddess Power Oracle cards for pile 3. Can we hear from the goddesses on pile 3? Okay. We've got 3 of them that just popped right out. So another 5 card here. We have Epona with Wise Leadership, and that's the card 14, which reduces to a 5 with the hummingbird. And then we have card 36, Metis with Wisdom. And card 16, Gaia and Earth. And see, the 16 and Gaia always feels like Taurian energy to me as well. And on the back of the deck, we have forgive me if I butcher this, Mnemosyne and the Past with card 37, which is 10 reduces to a 1. So you've got 7s, 9s, 5s, and 1s. The 5s feel the most prominent for this pile. So what I'm seeing here is you have gone through such great changes in the past. Such bold, brilliant internal changes. And as you went through these changes, you really have learned how to embrace the true nature of who you are. To me, this looks like a scarab beetle. That may be significant for some of you. Some of you may look into ancient Egypt. There's something about past lives and bringing in the wisdom from past lives or past experiences, past relationships, past attempts. Past attempts is what I keep hearing. So something that you have tried before is coming back around. That is going to be different for each and every one of you. Take it as it resonates and leave the rest behind. For some reason, in this pile especially, take only the very specifics that resonate here. Some of you may have given up a project, walked away from a project. Some of you may have contemplated a project and then stopped, or psyched yourself out, essentially. I don't have time for that. I don't have the energy for that. I need to do this instead. I need to, whatever excuse or argument or reasoning that you gave yourself, whatever it is that you let go of. And just as a side note, if you see a feather, take that as a confirmation here, because I'm seeing feathers everywhere. Some of you have left something that it's coming back around for you to take the wise leadership and apply that wisdom to something here in the earth, to something here that you are building in this world, in this life. Whatever it is, whatever, and to me I'm seeing kind of a plethora, like interior design. I'm seeing writing. I am seeing somebody singing opera. You know, like their hand is out like this and they're singing on a stage. I'm seeing music notes. I'm seeing ribbons of some sort and a lot of feathers. Some of you may be seeing feathers, may find feathers in the coming days to give you confirmation of this reading. But I am seeing all of these different things that have been walked away from, the things that really light up your heart, they light up your soul. They make you feel as though you are ready to give birth to something new into your life. And I'm looking at the Gaia card and I see her. It may be that some of you have given up on having a family, that you may have given up on having children. And this is for a very select few of you, maybe 3 or 4 max, where you have just given up all hope in having kids. And Spirit is saying, please don't give up on it. Please do not give up on that. Please have hope and confidence. Where there is a heart longing and a soul longing, when the heart and soul are on board and they know together, then there is a way, and the way will be shown.
Please, again, take that as it resonates. Leave the rest behind. Sit with Spirit on that one. Spirit, can we get some Wild Offerings cards? Wild Offering cards for pile 3. Just any additional messages for pile 3 with the Wild Offering cards, Spirit. We've got 1. Wild Offer. Okay. All of these. Okay. You guys got quite a few. So the first card you got is Health. Allow me, Divine, to be tender and accepting of my body no matter what ailments I may have. May I always know it's doing the best that it can. Help me be a loving ally and friend to this sacred form. And then we have Despair. I need your divine intercession right now, O Great Spirit. Lift this darkness from my soul. Free me from this burden. Open me to your highest plan. May I be a peaceful vessel for your love. Being enough. The innermost heart says you are enough. Nowhere to go, nothing to get, nothing to change. No need to grow more deserving. You, yes, you, are love. Gratitude. Find just one thing that you feel grateful for right now and let that gratitude pour through your body. It's a healing balm like the warmth of the sun. And then finally we have Clarity. Let me trust my deepest instincts in all ways, especially when matters are unclear. May my own holy intuition always guide the way. And this Clarity card is what I'm hearing is discernment. Discernment. There's messages in here that are meant for just a very, very select few. And on the back of the deck, this is amazing. We have empowerment. When you ask the divine to take over, you get pulled into your own authentic power. It's a force of inner love that wants your wholeness and magnificence. Unfold my true and radiant self, dear Lord. That is so fantastic, especially considering we were talking about the stone red jasper being for inspiration and creative empowerment. This is, and see, the empowerment and being enough are both the exact same coloring. And this is really about letting you know that it's okay to be in balance, and it's okay to find that clarity of what your purpose is and what you want to do and what you want to create. Being grateful for things really will help bring in an inner balance. This despair card that I feel like the despair card has to do with the past. It has to do with you really wanting something to change, wanting something to come in to show you that there's time for you. And we can really choose what we want to hold on to, what feels right. We can choose whether we are going to see the reality of who we are, whether we're going to take care of our body and take care of our creative projects. Health is not just about physical health. There's mental health, there's emotional health, but there's also creative health. And I think we don't talk about that enough. There is such a thing as creative health. It's that sense of self that we get when we actually engage in creative endeavors, working and flowing together with the divine. That is true empowerment to me. Working hand in hand with spirit. It brings in nothing but gratitude and really opens it up. And what I'm seeing here is there's so much in the heart chakra area. There's so much in the heart chakra, but the higher heart chakra, the throat, all of that, it really needs to be, you've done a lot of work with these higher chakras is what I can see, but you don't have the access between the lowers and your heart. When you start opening your heart up more, and healing that root chakra is going to help connect all of the chakras together finally. And it's almost as if you need to get this sense of creative empowerment in order to solidify that root chakra for you. It's more of an internal balancing act of creative endeavors brought forth into the world. And when you do that, then you actually really do give that root chakra that balance and that harmony that you really need to feel of it. So what is it that your life is like when it's fully in balance? What would you do if you had enough time? What if you were balanced and you had enough time? Okay, pile threes, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If this resonated, please like the video and share it with somebody who may be helped. And don't forget to hit that subscription and notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And I want to thank you guys so much for being here again today, and have a wonderful day. I love you all. Bye. Hello, my loves. If you are struggling with finding the truth of who you are, feeling empowered, getting any kind of clarity about yourself, your role in life, your place in the world, who you are, what limits you, what boundaries you need, or what boundaries you have been putting in place that have kept you small, and whether or not you are actually enough to be who you want to be, if you can create what you want to create, if you are the person that you truly choose to be in this world. If you're struggling with any of these things that can deeply impact your sense of grounding, your sense of self, and your sense of worth in the world, then I have a program for you. It is called Breaking Boundaries, Finding Freedom, and you can find it in the link in the description box. And if you type in New Moon, you will get a 50% off discount from now until the end of February. This program was designed based off of personal experiences, and it is a do-it-yourself healing session. It's to teach yourself how to grow and balance out and define who you are outside of anyone else's identities. It gives you tools and techniques, journal prompts, homework assignments that are really more like, go have fun, here's an idea. But it gives you back the power over your life, the decision to be yourself, the decision to break free from the boundaries that other people place upon you, and to find your freedom of self in this world. It will bring you truth and empowerment and clarity, and prove to you that you are more than just enough. You, my dear, are the purest essence of divinity walking in the world, and this program is designed to help you see that in and of yourself. So please take the time to go check out the link, take the 50% off discount, and change your life today. I love you all. Bye.